work our way up the octaves. Right? This is nasty. I'm here with another 20-year-old idea. This one's based around what I call the Squarepusher octave thing. I'll put a reference at the front of the video, and I'll also put a link in the description to the exact point in the track I'm talking about. I think maybe he just stretched out a piece of an on-in break and transposed it up and up and up in a musical fashion. But I like to do it with a drone, and the grid makes it really easy and really fun to do. This is just an easy way to get hours worth of dark drone samples or glitch sounds. So here we go. I like to make drone sounds in the grid by keeping a MIDI trigger active. So I'm going to use my keyboard, but I'll leave the audio in so I can select a note and it will just drone on that note. So I'm just playing a C. We have the sine wave. Going to bring up a sawtooth wave. And when people make dubstep sounds, you know, they typically modulate at like maybe an octave higher, or 19 semitones higher, an octave and a fifth, or 2 octaves higher. They're put harmonics above what they're playing through modulation, like this. So if we threw a filter on here, we'd have a dubstep bass. Instead of going an octave up, we're going to go an octave down. And you should hear the audio tear apart. So clean sine wave. Let's go lower. Let's go lower. Maybe you could call it an undertone. It's more of an undertone than an overtone. What's nice about the sound tearing apart at this point in the production instead of like through sampling is you have more control over the information. So when you do go to put distortion on this already glitchy, distorted sound, you're not going to need to put as much distortion on there, and it's just going to distort the glitch, and it's just going to be way higher quality than like 2 distortions. Nothing wrong with 2 distortions or 4 distortions, but sometimes there's a sacrifice there that this can make up for. Let's double it. Throw in the mixer. So you can see I have two layers. This is a 1/2. Let's go 1/4 with this. Now we have 2 textures. Turn this up. Here's the new one. And then we can put this an octave over the other one at the sine wave. Let's do the same thing there. Good stuff. Let's do one more of these going. I'm going to put it in there. Although this one, I'm going to make really low and dirty. Cool. Now, to do the octave thing in the track, you pretty much just set up some tension, and then you use this noise as sustain for the tension, and then you climb up the registers to build and then ultimately release the tension. That's the form. You could just use an arm break and stretch it out, but by doing this, you can get new sounds and you can take the form in other directions because each of these oscillators has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have just so many points of modulation. You can modulate all these, you can modulate the mixer, you can add processing effects. Let's add some distortion. Let's just put a, I'll keep it native for you guys. I like that. Something the Amen break has that we don't have is reverb. I'm actually going to put the convolution reverb on the high end, right? And then we're just going to work our way up octaves. Rip everything apart with a button. And I'll hit the button. And let's go way down to transition out of it. And then I'll go up 2 octaves and hit the button at the same time and maybe it'll work. Timing's a little off, but I think it would have sounded interesting. Okay, that's all. There's no way I can end this. This is just literally how I mess around for hours. I think you should try this, sample it. Use the samples to make some kick drums, to make some bass sounds. It would go really well for you. I'll put this on my Patreon, but you could just copy these 10 modules, make it yourself. Okay, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll put this on my Patreon if you don't want to rebuild it yourself. It's pretty easy though.